Hello students, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well, and I even hope that you people have gone through all the problems whatever we have practiced till now in this chapter. So now hopefully we will be wind up the chapter by doing the remaining 4 problems of exercise 12.2. So now we are going to start question number 7. We are done till question number 6 in our last video. Now question number 7, very important as per examination point of view. Twice or thrice it has been asked even in exams by changing the numbers. So very important, I mean to say. So try to understand the concept how to do this question. Okay. So the question says that, let us have a look in your textbooks. Question number 7. It says that two poles of equal heights are standing opposite to each other. Two poles are standing opposite to each other and they are having same heights on either side of the road. On both the sides of road they are standing and they are having equal heights, which is 120 feet wide. What is 120 feet wide? The road is 120 feet wide and the two poles are standing on two sides of that 120 feet wide road. From a point between them on the road and from one point between them on the road, between the poles on the road, the angles of elevation of the top of the poles are angle of elevation of the top of the poles. From that point, the top of the poles are observed and the angles of elevation are found as 60 degree and 30 degree respectively, students. Find the height of the poles and the distance of the point from the poles. Firstly, you need to find the height of the poles as well as you need to find out the distance of that point from the poles. At what distance that point lies in between them on the road. Okay. Many students think that between them on the road means 120 feet road means 60 feet, 60 feet. But it is not like that. It did not say midpoint. It said between them on the road. The point between them on the road. So it may be anywhere on the road because the complete portion of 120 feet width says that all the points lying on this width of 120 feet road, all the points are in between the poles only. Okay, so let us draw the diagram first for the given situation. There were two poles standing on the both sides of the road and the width of the road is 120 feet, students. Okay, be careful about these units because here it is mentioned feet. In examination he may give you 120 meters or 80 meters, anything. Okay, there are two poles standing. H I will consider their heights. I will take one pole as AB, another pole as CD. As they are having same height, so draw them of same measurement. Now there is a point between them on the road. The top of the poles are observed from this point. One angle is 60 degree, one angle is 30 degree, students. So which is 60 degree? Some students will think this is 60 degree. No, because wherever the point is nearer to the pole, that angle will be the larger one, and with the point which is far from the pole, that will be the smaller angle. So this is 60 degree, students, and this is 30 degree. Now because of this point, the road is being divided into two parts, not equal parts. I just said it is divided into two parts, students. So let I consider this point as E, and this part I will take as x, and this part I will take as 120 minus x. Anywhere you can take x. I have taken this as x and this as 120 minus x. If you want, you can take x here and there 120 minus x. It does not make any difference. You will get the same answer only. So here I have taken x, here I have taken 120 minus x because the road is 120, right? So suppose if this is 20 feet, then this is 100 feet, right? How you will get this 100? From this 120 you will take out this 20, right? So similarly here also what we are doing, this complete road is 120. If this is x, to get this one from this 120 you need to take out this x. So this is 120 minus x. Understand, students? So now write the considerations. Let AB is equal to CD is equal to poles of equal heights. They are the poles of equal heights, students, and we have taken them as H, right? Next, BD is width of the road, students. Width of the road, which is 120 feet. Right, students? Next, E is a point on the road between the poles. Okay, so here I have taken ED as x, so I am taking ED as x and BE as 120 minus x. Okay students, if this is x, then this will be from the complete width you need to take out that x, so BE is 120 minus x I have taken. Now angles, one angle AEB is 30 degree, this AEB is 30 degree, and that one angle CED is 60 degree, right students? So now let us take that triangle first, triangle or having 60 degree angle. In triangle CDE, height and distance, two things are involved. This is opposite, this is adjacent. So tan ratio we will take tan 60 degree is equal to opposite side, that is CD, and adjacent side is ED. Tan 60 value √3, CD we have taken as h and ED we have taken as x students, right? So multiplying this x over here, x into √3, x √3, or you can write √3x also, nothing happens, is equal to, right side remains h. Take this as first equation. It is somewhat similar to question number 1 of this exercise that we have done. Okay, so h equals to x √3 we got. Now proceeding to this triangle, in triangle ABE, as you have taken tan here, here also you need to take tan ratio students. Tan angle is different, that is 30 degree, equals to opposite side is AB students and adjacent side is BE students. Okay, we have selected tan ratio. Now we will substitute the values. Tan 30 value is 1 by √3 students. Tan 60 is √3. Tan 30 is 1 by √3 equals to AB is h again, because both the poles have same height, and BE we got as 120 minus x, right students? So now h 1 by √3 equals to, in place of h I can write x √3, and denominator remains 120 minus x. Here I will write how we got in place of h x √3. From equation 1 we got that. Okay students, so now cross multiplication, 120 minus x, ones are 120 minus x equals to √3 into x √3 will be x into 3 students. Okay, we have learned √3 into √3 will be 3, right? So x I am writing as it is. Now 120 minus x equals to, x into 3 is 3x. Transposing this minus x this side, 120 equals to 3x plus x, and when you add 3x and x, you will get it as 4x students. Okay, so 120 upon, this is in multiplication, if I transpose I will get in division, equals to x, 4 ones are 4 3s are 12, zeros are 0, x equals to 30 I got. What I got here? The point, this value I got, which means the point is at 30 feet distance from one pole. So it means from another pole it will be 90 feet. That also we will calculate. BE is equal to 120 minus x equals to 120 minus 30 equals to 90 feet. Okay students, x I got as 30 feet and BE I got as 90 feet. So one thing we got, that is the point is at a distance of 30 feet and 90 feet from the poles, but the main thing he has asked to find out the height of the pole. So this h is nothing but height of the pole. So we will substitute x value in that. Substituting x is equal to 30 in equation first, we will substitute. The first equation is h equals to x into √3. So h equals to x value 30 we got, 30 into √3 students. So h equals to 30 into, in place of root 3, I'll write 1.732. So when you multiply them, you'll get it as 51.960 students. So 0 will be ignored. H equals to 51.96 feet is the height of the poles. Okay. So at last we will write, therefore height of the poles is 51.96 feet, students. And another thing is, what is the distance of the point? Distance of the point is 30 feet and 90 feet from the poles. Right, students? Height of the poles, both the poles have same height, right? So height of the poles is 51.96 feet and the point is at a distance of 30 feet and 90 feet from the two different poles. Okay, very important as per examination point of view. Practice it very carefully so that you should become very perfect in this question. Very important. Okay, so note down this one, then we will proceed for another question. And one more thing I wanted to say here, as I said, this is similar to question number 1 that we did in this exercise. Therein I have explained, like by taking this as first equation and taking this as second equation, I have explained. So in that way or in this way, in any way you can do that, the answer will not change. So wherever you are finding it easier, I think this is easier one. If you are finding that was easier one, then you can go in that way also, nothing happens. So note down this one, then we will go for next question of this exercise. Now we will see next question, students. Question number 8. The angle of elevation of the top of a tower. A top of a tower is being observed from 2 points at a distance of 4 meter and 9 meter. There are 2 points. From those 2 points, top of the tower is being observed. One point is at 4 meter, another point is at 9 meter from the base of the tower. Both the points are at first point is at a distance of 4 meter from the base of the tower and another point is at a distance of 9 meter from the base of the tower. Not from first point, it is at 9 meter. Okay, from the base of the tower only, first point is at 4 meter and next point is at 9 meter, students, and they are in the same straight line. Like first point, if it is there, second point is not going towards right, left or somewhere, they are in the same line, with it are complementary. He is saying that the angles of elevation are complementary. This is the complete one statement only, student. It is saying that angles of elevation of the top of the tower from the 2 points at a distance of 4 meter and 9 meter in the same straight line are complementary, which means both the angles are complementary. Like when you add both the angles, you will get 90 degree. Here, any one angle is also he has not given to decide what is the another angle, right? If suppose he says first angle is 30, then we can say another angle is 60 degree. But he has not mentioned over here. So what we will do, that we will see now, how we will have to do this type of questions. So firstly, we will draw the tower, and now this is first point which is at a distance of 4 meter from the base of the tower. The top of the tower is being observed from this point, and another point is at distance of 9 meter from the base of the tower only. Another point is at 9 meter distance, students, and from here also the top of the tower is being observed. Let us take this as AB, this is C, this is D, right, students? First point is C, another point is D. Now he has not given anything, just he asked you to find the height of the tower. Only distances he has given, angles he has not given. We need to find out the height of the tower. Let us take that as H, and let us take the angle is theta, and another angle is 90 minus theta. Okay, because the angles are complementary. If first is 30, then another will be 60. How you will get that? If this is 30, to get that one, 90 minus 30, if you do, you will get 60 degree. Okay, so then we can say both the angles are complementary, but here we don't know any angle. So I am taking one angle as theta, another angle will be 90 minus theta, because the angles are complementary. Right, students? So let us write the considerations. AB is what? It is height of the tower. Okay students, height of the tower we have taken it as h. Okay, BC is distance between base of a tower and first point. Okay students, distance between base of a tower and first point, that is 4 meters. And another thing, BD is the distance between base of a tower and second point. Right students, that is 9 meters. Right, the not A. Okay, base of the tower and second point is 9 meter. This is BD. Since he has mentioned that the angles of elevation from both the points, the top of the tower is being observed, right? So the angle of elevation from both the points are complementary is given in the question. So just because of this reason, we have considered, let angle ACB we have taken as theta students, and angle ADB we are taking as 90 minus theta. Okay, because of the angles are complementary. Now firstly we will take this triangle. In triangle ACB, height is involved, distance is involved. So tan theta we will take. Tan theta equals to opposite by adjacent. Tan theta remains as it is, as we don't know theta value. AB we have taken as h and BC is 4. Let us keep this as it is. Okay students, tan theta equals to h by 4. Otherwise take this as first equation students. Next thing, another triangle ADB. The complete triangle we are taking. So here also tan ratio only. But what is the angle over here? It is 90 minus theta students, and the opposite side over here is AB and the adjacent side is completely BD. I said if you want the clear picture of it, just draw that complete triangle separately to get the opposite side and adjacent side in a clear way. Tan 90 minus theta we have learned in complementary angles formula of chapter 11. Tan 90 minus theta is cot theta students. Right? AB by BD. AB is h and BD is 9. Take this as second equation. Now also we have learned in multiplicative inverses that students, tan theta and cot theta are multiplicative inverses of each other, which means tan theta can be written as 1 by cot and cot theta can be written as 1 by tan. So for that purpose what we will do, we will multiply them both, first and second equation. Multiplying 1 and 2, because we need to find out the value of h. So we are multiplying them. Tan theta into cot theta equals to h by 4 into h by 9. Okay, left side parts get multiplied on left side and RHS portions gets multiplied on RHS side. Okay, tan theta I'll keep as it is, and this cot theta can be replaced as 1 by tan theta students. This we have learned in multiplicative inverses formula. Okay, so cot theta becomes 1 by tan theta, and h into h square, 4 into 9, 36. When we multiplied this, we got h square by 36. Tan theta gets cancelled. So what remains over here? 1 equals to h square by 36 students. This is in division. So if you multiply 36 ones are 36 equals to h square. Square after transposing becomes root over 36 equals to h. The square root of 36 is 6 students. So we got the value of h as 6. So at last we will write, therefore height of the tower is 6 meters. Okay students, here in this question he said to find the height of the tower. Once the question is given in the examination, like he has only given the height, he asked you to prove that the height of the tower is 6 meters, he said. So somehow how we will get 6 meter, there also we will get 6 meter, but at last we need to write hence proved. Okay, but here he has given to find, so we have calculated the height of the tower. It is somewhat a different question, so some attention is required in practicing this question. Okay, so note down this one, then we will do next question. See question number 9 students. Now the angle of elevation of a jet plane from a point A on the ground is 60 degree. A jet plane is observed from a point on the ground and the angle of elevation is found to be 60 degree. After a flight of 15 seconds, which means the jet plane travelled for 15 seconds, the angle of elevation changes to 30 degree. From that point only, when the jet plane is observed now after a flight of 15 seconds, it has been changed to 30 degree it seems. If the jet plane is flying at a constant height of 1500 root 3 meters, the jet plane is flying at a same height, that is of 1500 root 3 meters. We need to find out the speed of the jet plane. He has mentioned here root 3 value is 1.732, but I hope you people remember the value of root 3 is 1.732, because in question if he does not give also, then we need to substitute in place of root 3 as 1.732. Okay students, so firstly we will draw the diagram. This is 1500 root 3 meters height students, and here it is jet plane, and the jet plane is observed from a point on the ground and it has been found the angle is 60 degree to the jet plane from a point A on the ground. Okay students, let us take this as BC is the height at which the jet plane is there initially. Now it has been travelled for 15 seconds. Suppose this is the position of jet plane now. We will extend the horizontal and this is the height again. It will be same as 1500 root 3 meters only students, because the plane is travelling at a constant height. Let us take this as DE. Okay. So now from the same point, the angle of elevation to this jet plane after a flight of 15 seconds is changed to 30 degree. Okay students, so this is the distance travelled by the plane, that we will take as x, right? And this distance I will take as y, because two distances are there. So first I am taking as x and this I am taking as y. We need to find out the speed of the jet plane students. Let us write the considerations first. Let A be a point on the ground. Right students, it is already given in the question. We are taking A be a point on the ground. We are still writing. Next, BC is equal to DE is constant height at which the plane is flying. That is 1500 root 3 meters. Right students? Next thing, BD is equal to CE is equal to distance travelled by jet plane in 15 seconds. It has been mentioned in the question students that jet plane has a flight of 15 seconds. Also we have taken AC is equal to Y we have taken. Okay. So now Firstly, I will take this triangle ABC. Let us write the angles first. Angle BAC is 60 degree. In this small triangle, BAC is completely 60 degree. If I take the whole triangle from there, after a flight of 15 seconds one, then angle DAE it is. DAE, which is 30 degree. Okay students? So firstly I take this smaller triangle. In triangle ABC, opposite and adjacent sides are involved. So tan ratio I am taking. Tan 60 degree is opposite side is BC and adjacent side is AC students. Tan 60 value is root 3. BC is 1500 root 3 because it is constant height of the plane, and AC I have taken as Y. So Y I will take here, root 3 I will transpose over there. I will get it as Y equals to 1500 root 3 upon root 3, because division comes into multiplication, multiplication goes to division. This root 3 gets cancelled. The value of Y is 1500 meters. Okay students? So Y value we got. Next, proceeding to another triangle, because we need the value of X to find out the speed of the jet plane students. Now, in triangle, the whole triangle I will take. DAE. Okay? In triangle ADE. Here also tan ratio students, but 30 degree, because the angle has been changed to 30 degree, right? So tan 30 degree is equal to opposite side DE divided by adjacent side AE students. Okay? Then tan 30 value is 1 by root 3. DE value is 1500 root 3, which is given in the question. And AE means from here till here, it is Y plus X. That we will write. Now cross multiplication we will do completely. Y plus X, ones are Y plus X, and root 3 into this when you do completely, 1500 remains as it is, and root 3 into root 3 will become 3. We did initially also this step. Then Y value just now we got, that is 1500. I will substitute plus X equals to 1500 multiplied by 3 is 4500 students. Then X is equal to 4500. This 1500 after transposing becomes minus 1500, and when you subtract them you will get it as 3000 meters, which means distance travelled by the jet plane in 15 seconds is 3000 meters students. This we have taken as X, right? I will write here X. Distance travelled by the jet plane. Distance travelled by the jet plane in 15 seconds is 3000 meters students. But our actual thing to calculate is speed of the jet plane. At last we will go for finding speed of the jet plane. Speed of the jet plane. The formula to calculate speed is distance upon time. So distance divided by time. How much is the distance travelled by the plane students? That is 3000 meters, and the time 15 seconds it has travelled. So cancelling now, 15 ones are 15, 15 twos are 30, these two zeros I will write as it is. So I will get it as 200 meters per second students, because the units we will take as per the given criteria. The distance he has mentioned in terms of meters, and it has travelled for seconds. So that is the reason whatever speed you will get, that you need to write in terms of meters per second. Suppose if you have mentioned 15 hours and this was kilometer, that time you need to write kilometer per hour. But here it has taken meters and seconds, so that is the reason speed of the jet plane is 200 meters per second students. This is your answer. Okay, so note down this one, then we will do last question and we will wind up this chapter. So students, now we are going to do the last question of this exercise as well as of this chapter. The question is, the angle of elevation of the top of a tower from the foot of the building is 30 degree. When the top of the tower is observed from the foot of building, the angle is 30 degree it seems, and the angle of elevation of top of the building from the foot of the tower is 60 degree. So by saying this, you can say that the building is larger than the tower, because the angle of elevation to the tower is 30 degree and the angle of elevation to the building is 60 degree. That question, one more question we have done wherein also this tower and building were involved, but the tower was larger than the building. But here the building is larger because the angle of elevation to the top of the building is 60 degree. What is the ratio of heights of tower and building? Here we need not to calculate any of the heights. We need to calculate the ratio of their heights, the tower and the building. First height of the tower, then height of the building we need to write while calculating the ratio. Okay students, so let us proceed here. Here this is tower and this is building, students. Okay, this is tower and this is building. Now angle of elevation of top of the tower from the foot of the building is 30 degree. This is ground. From the foot of the building, when the top of the tower is observed, it is 30 degree, and from the foot of the tower, when the top of the building is observed, it is 60 degree it seems, students. Let us take this as A, B, C, D. Now firstly we will write the considerations, then we will go for that finding ratio of the heights. Let AB is what, students? It is height of the tower. Height of the tower, let us take it as H1. Okay. Then CD is height of the building, that is I take as H2. So we need to find out ratio of heights, means H1 is to H2. See students, in question ratio of tower and the building he said, so that is the reason tower should be kept first then building. Suppose if he asked ratio of building and tower, then building should be kept first then tower, H2. Okay, so here we have taken them both, and then this I take as D. DB is distance between the tower and the building. Okay students, DB is the distance between the tower and the building, that we have taken as small d. Now any triangle you can select over here. As this H1 is there in this triangle, in triangle ADB, so I will take that first, but before that I will write both the angles of elevation. One is angle ADB, that is 30 degrees, students. This ADB is 30 degree, okay. Horizontal and line of sight we need to see. Then horizontal and line of sight when you see, this is CBD. Angle CBD is 60 degree. Okay students, so I will take this triangle first as H1 is involved. In triangle ABD, same opposite and adjacent we are using, so tan, I will take tan 30 degree is opposite divided by adjacent. Opposite is AB, adjacent is DB in this triangle, students. Okay, tan 30 value is 1 by root 3 equals to AB is H1, that is height of the tower, and DB we have taken as a small d, so I will keep it as it is, and then D, this D I will multiply over here. D ones are D divided by root 3 equals to H1. I got the value of H1, that is D by root 3. Now proceeding to another triangle, students, that is CDB. In triangle CDB, here the angle is 60 degrees, students, but the ratio remains same, that is tan. So I am taking tan 60 degree is equal to opposite by adjacent, students. So CD divided by DB. Tan 60 value is root 3, guys. CD is H2 we have taken, that is height of the building, and DB is D only. Multiplying this D over here, D into root 3, you will get D root 3 equals to H2. You got height first and height second, both the heights you got. Then we can go for finding ratio of heights of their heights. Ratio of heights of tower and building is equal to H1 is to H2 students. Tower H1 ratio, then H2 is building. H1 we got as D by root 3 and H2 we got as D root 3 students. So this side D, they both get cancelled in ratio. Numerator denominator process is not there here. Left side, right side. This D gets cancelled. Actually, when you convert this ratio in division, somehow this will come into the denominator only. So this is to symbol. D got cancelled. Here 1 by root 3 remains and here root 3 remains. But see, whenever you are finding the ratio, no, like this denominators should not be there in any of the term. So in this term it is clear root 3 only, but here this root 3 is there. So we need to remove this root 3. So for that purpose, what you need to do, you need to multiply the complete ratio with this term, whatever you want to remove. So multiplying by root 3. Completely we need to multiply. So this will be root 3 into 1 by root 3. First root 3 gets multiplied with this and also with this. Multiplying by root 3, both the terms I will write, okay? Otherwise you may think that only if you multiply here that is enough. Both the terms you need to multiply with root 3. So root 3 into 1 by root 3 is to root 3 into root 3. Okay students? Root 3 multiplied by this and root 3 also multiplied by this. What will happen here? Then this root 3 gets cancelled and they are in numerator and denominator. So here remains 1 is to this root 3 into root 3, when you multiply, root 3 into root 3 will be 3. So this is the ratio of heights of tower and building, 1 is to 3. Okay students? So this is your final answer over here. Now with this we have completed the whole chapter, and you people are lucky enough that in this chapter I have not allotted any home assignment. All the problems have been explained by me only. Now it is your task to practice all the questions very carefully, especially when it comes about drawing of the diagram, students, because that forms the base of solving the problem. Because if you draw incorrect diagram, then it is possible that you may get the wrong answer too. So that is the reason drawing of the diagram, that practice you must do. Because as I said in my first class of this chapter, while introducing about line of sight, angle of elevation and angle of depression, I have clearly said you that in 1 mark and 2 mark you may get the questions just to draw the diagram for the given situation. You need not to do any problem solving part. This mostly they will ask for 4 marks only, and in 2 mark rarely they will ask solving part. Mostly they will ask in 2 mark or 1 mark just to draw the diagram for the given situation. That's it. So drawing of the diagram, that practice you must do, and it's good if you practice for the do this, try this and think, discuss boxes that are allotted in the textbook. Okay students? So when you prepare yourself very well, then definitely you will be solving the questions that you will be receiving from this chapter in your examination. So that only I wanted to say. So with this one, I'll wind up the complete chapter and today's session also. So hopefully in our next video we will meet with a new topic. So till then, take care of yourself. Have a good day everyone. Thank you all of you.